Hi and welcome to day 21, put my teeth in, of the Dry Jan plan. Today I want to talk about anxiety. Now, I don't know if you're an anxious person or not. I can get a little bit stressed and I can get quite anxious about things, especially if I'm doing things in public, especially like talking in public. I had to get on the platform at church a couple of months ago and share something, and I thought I was going to be like, well, I was mega nervous to start with, but as I sat there and took some deep breaths and actually started thinking about it, and, you know, that the people aren't going to bite me, that they're my friends, things calmed down a bit. But I know there's a lot of people, maybe you're one of them listening to this podcast, that use alcohol to really help you with anxiety, or maybe, you know, really stressful situations that you have to put yourself in because it's part of your job, or, you know, it's something that you're expected to do. Maybe social occasions, you feel anxiety around social occasions. I know my husband, when he was working, hated networking with a passion. He's a very quiet guy. And the thought of actually going to a room full of people and having to network was his absolute worst nightmare. So if that's you and you've always used alcohol to help you relax, then I just want to give you a little bit of CBT, a technique that's quite helpful. And what it is it's like a scoring system. It takes a little bit of work, but you don't have to keep doing it because your brain gets used to it. What I want you to do is I want you to think of that situation that you're going into. And I want you to score it 1 out of 10. So 1 being it really doesn't bother you, and 10 being like you're absolutely pooping yourself and you feel really anxious to the point of having a panic attack. So think about the situation and write down each step. So like for me, it will be, if I was speaking in public, it would be, well, it used to be driving up to the venue. I'd get up feeling a bit nervous, but the nearer I got, the more nervous I got. I'd have butterflies in my tummy, my heart would be racing, my mouth would be dry. I'd go into the venue, I'd meet the people there, and I'd feel a little bit more at ease, but I would still have this nagging anxiety feeling inside me, thinking I was going to, you know, fluff up and say something stupid and make an idiot of myself. And then, you know, you'd be mic'd up, ready to go on stage, and be absolutely pooping myself. I'd need the toilet. My tongue would be stuck at the roof of my mouth. Thankfully, that's not the case anymore. But if I write down these feelings, so turning up in the car, 1 to 10, what's my anxiety like? Getting out of the car, what's my anxiety like? Walking into the building, 1 to 10, what is it like? Meeting the person that I'm going to be speaking for, what's that like, 1 to 10? And going through absolutely every tiny detail of me visualizing speaking in public. And I would actually, write everything down, right to getting on the stage, speaking. And then often when I'm talking, time flies by and it's not an issue. I think it's just initially getting on the platform and talking. So whatever situation you're going in, if you write down all the different lists, you know, walking in the door, shaking hands of the host, being asked questions, and just anything that would come up for you, and score it. And what happens is, because you've actually taken, if you think about a drone, you're sort of in the third person, you're like a drone hovering above the situation, and you've taken yourself out of the situation and you're looking down on it and you're scoring it 1 to 10. Because you've taken time to sit with that and really think about it, what happens is when the actual event comes up, you subconsciously will, you probably would subconsciously, but you would score yourself. You would think what you gave yourself. So maybe most of them were 8 to 10s. In my case, there would be mostly 8 to 10s. And then driving up to the venue, I would think, well, am I actually an 8 or a 9 or a 10? And I think, well, actually, no. I feel a bit like a 5 or a 6. And then I'd go in and meet the host and shake the hand. And I'd be like, actually, I'm not an 8. I feel a bit like a 5. And then, they'd be miking me up ready. And I'd think my heart would be racing a bit. My mouth would be dry. And I'm thinking, well, I'll be a 10 at this point. Well, actually, I only feel like a 7. And it's just preempting that anxiety and actually being thinking about it and scoring yourself. It's amazing what effect it has. And you start to build up this bank of positive experiences in time. So the more you do it, the more you put yourself in that situation, the better you feel. And your brain starts to rewire. And you actually start thinking, you know what, I can actually do this. And before you know it, you can just think about your 1 to 10s and you put yourself in that situation and you're probably a 7 when you walk in the door. And as time goes on, you actually drop to a 5 or a 4 or even a 3 or 2 or even a 1. So use that technique. It's really helpful. It does take some time to sit down and write it all out, but it's really, really useful to help you come over anxiety. And the whole point of doing this is not reaching for that glass, not having to have 2 or 3 glasses of wine before you go out, just so you can be sociable when you go out to the pub or go out to an event, or there might be something at work and you might have to have a shot of something, a tot of whiskey or a G&T or a couple of glasses of wine before you go out, just to temper down your anxiety. And it's a much healthier way of dealing with anxiety. And there is another technique. I'm an emotional change therapist, so I did a course all about our subconscious and about our emotions and our feelings and changing the way we think and feel about things. And I've got something called Unspinning Anxiety. And what I'll do is I'll drop that link into the show notes. And it's a very easy technique to do. And it's something you can do really quickly. To begin with, it takes a little bit of practice. It's a visualization technique of visualizing the actual anxiety itself, where it's sitting in your body, what it feels like. Does it have a color? Is it heavy? And actually dealing with it. And it's been so effective with a lot of clients and even friends and family that I've used it on. So do take a listen to that. And that's really helpful for when you're in that moment and you can feel that anxiety starting. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.